Of course, now an official toss to determine who will receive the ball first. The Lions and the Broncos. The Lions are 4-8, but they've won 3 of their last 5, and they are the men who will hopefully not be using their hankies that much. I know that would be their own wish, that they don't like to call the penalties, but they're here to control the game. Referee is Fred Silva today.
Talking to some of the Bronco coaches and players, and to Mike Lucci, who's been their radio broadcaster during the year. They really have come on strong in the last 4 or 5 weeks, Dick. And after the early disappointments to Monty Clark and his staff, and a lot of early season changes, this is a much improved young team. They've got a lot of growing left to do. They'll have to do some of it today against this Bronco team if they wish to perform well.
Let's eavesdrop on Mr. Silva as he tosses the coin. Obviously have won the toss and will take the ball. Well, if we were outdoors, it'd been a different factor. Maybe if you won the toss, you'd kick it off. Monty Clark, the new head mentor of the Detroit Lions, had a great season at San Francisco a couple of years ago and then wasn't around last season nor this.
There are a lot of people who have to be wondering what would have happened at San Francisco had Monty been allowed to follow along and finish up with what he started out there. On the other side of the field, Red Miller. What an outstanding coach he's proved to be for these Denver Broncos. Taking them last year to the AFC Championship, on to the Super Bowl, and he's got them in a tie for first place this year in spite of some pretty tough injuries to his offensive line and to his quarterbacks.
Merlin, we could not have color coordinated this game in a more exciting manner. Those bright orange pants of the Broncos with their blue numerals, orange trim, and the Lions in their Honolulu blue and silver. It's a colorful sight.
Another thing that's interesting, this is probably the most intimate stadium for a football player anywhere in the country. You really feel those 71,000 fans. They're close to the field. They rise up almost above you. The acoustics here are very heavy. And if this crowd gets going strongly for its Lions today, you're really going to feel them on the field.
Lonnie Perrin will boot it off for the Denver Broncos. Rick Kane and Ken Calicut. Kane 32, Calicut 31 to return it for the Lions. We're pleased you're with us, and we hope it's a great day for you. Perrin, who not only kicks off but returns kicks, certainly a rare breed in that regard in the NFL. Young man from Illinois ready to root it to the other end. Line drive. Calicut having trouble and pays the price at the 9-yard line. Godwin Kirk, number 55, makes the hit.
Just a little pumped up, Dick. Couldn't get it in his hands, couldn't get it started.
Lions go into the huddle with their quarterback, Gary Danielson. Dexter Bussey and Horace King both in the top 10 in the NFC rushing, and King an exceptional pass receiver with him in the backfield. Luther Blue, Leonard Thompson, who has caught only 2 passes for the injured Fred Scott, are wide with a fine tight end, number 81, David Hill. The 2 tight ends in this game are the team's leading receivers, Riley Odoms for the Broncos. On first down, big hole. Dexter Bussey rips up the middle for about 9 yards before Joe Rizzo can make the stop.
We'll show you the names of those offensive linemen that opened that big hole for the Detroit Lions. Number 76, Carl Baldesweiler, Homer Elias, Larry Terry, 3 rookies, Lynn Bowden, and Brad Oates is over there on the right-hand side.
Bodine is the only man left over from last year's offensive line as Monty Clark has totally rebuilt that Detroit front wall. On 2nd and 2, it's Horace King out across the 20 to the 22 on a first down. Reuben Carter finally made the tackle for Denver.
On the defensive side of the line of scrimmage, defensive line for the Broncos, Barney Chavis, Reuben Carter, and Lyle Alzado. Alzado had a great game last week. Linebackers, they've got 4 of the best. Bob Swenson, Joe Rizzo, Randy Gratishar. We'll talk more about him later. And Tom Jackson, number 57 on the right side.
Lawrence Gaines, 230-pounder, number 38 in the Lions backfield. That's Dexter Bussey. Gradishar made the tackle at the 29 after a 6-yard gain.
Some excellent blocking down in there. You're watching Joe Rizzo, number 59. Of course, he's supposed to flow to the action. He's got no chance as they just cut off the flow. You see Dexter Bussey going through, getting airborne for a little extra yardage. They're going right at him, Dick, right up the middle.
Bernard Jackson actually had to come up from free safety to submarine him down on the tackle. It is 2nd down and a short 4. Another big hole as Rick Kane, 2nd year back from San Jose State, has another Lion first down, and they're going right at that Denver defense.
They sure are. Let's look at the people who have to stop the passes on the Denver side of the line. Number 20, Louis Wright, with great speed at the left corner. Steve Foley's the right corner. Thompson, number 36, their captain back there, and Bernard Jackson, number 29, who you just saw in that last tackle.
The Lions, 4 running plays, 2 first downs. Now they have good field position at their own 34. Luther Blue in motion, and the toss is to Dexter Bussey. Now the speed of that linebacking core of the Broncos as they try to go wide is in evidence. You might be able to run at them, but tough to get around them.
One of the great marks of defensive teams is pursuit, and you'll see a great deal of it from this Orange Crush defense today. Randy Gradishar over very quickly from his linebacking position, getting in on that tackle.
There's Gradishar from Ohio State. He's probably the top tackler in the entire National Football League. He's in on everything. 2nd down, more than 10. The defensive end, 6'3" and 250 from Yankton College, and that's just what he did. He just yanked Bussey to the carpet after a short game.
Even though they were caught by the backside in pursuit, David Hill, number 81, puts a great block on Barney Chavis. It's a double team. He brushes off, and then he just takes the legs right up underneath Joe Rizzo on the inside. But they couldn't get away from the great pursuit of number 77, Lyle Alzado.
Ball at the 38. The Lions face a pass situation. 3rd down and 7. Danielson to throw for the first time. Open is Hill. And he's very close to the first down. I believe he made it as he fell backwards out of the hold of Randy Gradishar.
Linebackers really have dual responsibilities. Must be involved in the running attack, also have to drop back in coverage. Gradishar now has read a pass. You see him dropping in the middle of your picture. The ball now has been thrown. Watch him come up and get a piece of the tackle, trying to deny David Hill that first down. And we'll have to watch the measurement to see if he actually made it.
Very close. First down for the Lions. Now, throughout this Thanksgiving Day, we're going to pay tribute to the wives and families of the various athletes, and in turn, it's our way of saying we hope you and yours are enjoying this special day in many ways more meaningful than some of the other holidays. This is a time where families come together and express their love and feeling for one another.
Well, we don't necessarily give presents on Thanksgiving, but that was a nice present to the offense for Detroit as they got that first down to continue this drive. Putting a little pressure on the defense here.
For David Hill, that was his 41st catch of the year. Danielson doesn't like the call in the defense, so we have our first timeout of this game. First quarter here at the Pontiac Silverdome. 10 minutes, 21 seconds remain. The Broncos and the Lions. No score. Dick Enberg and Merlin Olsen from the Pontiac Silverdome. The ball is at the 45-yard line. The Lions, after the kickoff return to their 9-yard line, have 3 consecutive first downs as Gary Danielson takes them to the line of scrimmage, and he stayed basically on the ground thus far. I want to ask you about that, Merlin Olsen. Inside handoff to Bussey, who breaks the tackle and gains 4 out to the 48-yard line.
I'd like to give you a look at that last play from the ground level and the secondary. Watch that play come right at you as Dexter Bussey makes a great reaction. He sees Gradishar right in the hole, cuts back, pulls out of his grasp, makes a nice gain, much more than he should have made on that particular play. One of the things that Danielson said, Dick, is they're going to try and mix it up today. Run on passing situations, pass on running situations. They want to keep this Denver defense off balance. 2nd and 6, a draw play to Gaines, and he has it.
Merlin doing a mighty fine job in the middle of that Detroit line. They're opening some big holes.
Take you right down on the field and watch the surge from this young Lion offensive line as they just blow people off the ball. Lawrence Gaines, a big bull of a back up inside. And watch the emotional reaction. This defense is very unhappy. Lyle Alzado saying, come on, guys. We can't let them drive like this. Let's get this game under control.
Only one pass used by Danielson, who has 4 straight first downs, and now it's in Denver territory. Play action. Luther Blue finally tackled at the 12, make that the 17-yard line.
Freddie Scott is on the sideline, but Danielson able to take advantage of Luther Blue with this nice pass, a timing pattern right over the middle. Blue pulls it in, pulls out of a tackle by Foley, makes a few extra yards on his own before Gradishar comes all the way downfield to run him down.
The Lions have had the ball for 6.5 minutes at the start of this game. That's their 5th first down in succession, and now they're at the Denver 17. Horace King getting a wrap on his ankle. Danielson looking for 6. No, it's a screen. Bussey, 10, 5. First down at the 3-yard line. Randy Gradishar saved the touchdown.
Great call on the part of Danielson, part of the bench for the Lions, as they're just confusing that Denver defense. They really have had them off balance. They've done exactly what they wanted to do. Watch Danielson now. The line is thinking pass on this. They let them get in. Danielson just dumps it off to Dexter Bussey, who knows what to do with that football. He's a great ball carrier. Again, Randy Gradishar down there making the saving tackle, but they're all the way down at the 3-yard line.
First and goal for the Lions. What a drive. Nothing there. Bussey trying the left side of the Denver defense. Remember, this Bronco team, toughest in the entire league to score against. And the Lions most impressive in driving downfield.
Not only with the drive, but the length of the drive. After they started so deep in their own territory, really an impressive drive, taking all the way from their own 9-yard line all the way up to the 2-yard line.
You saw the graying veteran quarterback Greg Landry now in his 11th year. Gary Danielson has taken his job. This is the 13th play of this drive. Second and goal at the 2. And it's a touchdown for Rick Kane. The Lions score first. Now, Monty Clark couldn't have written a book any better than that drive.
He's established a couple of things early. You want to go out and prove to your opponent that you can put that ball over on the ground. They've moved the ball all the way down the field and now stick it in. Rick Kane making the last shot there. Well, that was a pretty block on Gradishar. Watch Randy Gradishar. Excellent read. Comes across. He gets a nice chop block from the pulling guard. Able to spring Kane into the end zone.
Benny Ricardo kicks the extra point, and the Lions using a long portion of this first quarter, nearly 7-8 minutes, take the early lead 7-0. Look at the time of that drive, over 8 minutes consumed by the Lions offense, and it pays off a 90-yard drive to the early lead, 7-0. Rick Kane getting the score 2 yards out. Benny Ricardo hits it well, high toward Lonnie Perrin at the 6. Perrin 15, 20, 25, and down at the 26-yard line. Leonard Thompson, number 39, in on the hit along with 31 Calicut.
Let's go back and look at that touchdown play. Lynn Bodine, you'll see him pull on the right side of your picture there, number 62. He is going to make the critical block on Randy Gradishar. Watch it right here. Cuts Gradishar, allows Kane to spring through that little hole between Gradishar and Foley on into the end zone. That's excellent teamwork. Fine play by the line, fine play by the running back.
Now the Broncos have their first chance. Craig Morton with John Keyworth and Rob Lytle in the backfield. Moses in motion. Keyworth, the big fullback, and he rips off a good-sized gain to the 34-yard line. Here's the Denver Bronco offense. Veteran Morton at quarterback. And with him, Rob Lytle from the University of Michigan had his best game of the season last week against Green Bay. Keyworth, who just carried on that first down try. The wide receivers, Jack Dolben, speedy outside man, Haven Moses, the veteran, he and Morton, the M&M combination. Riley Odoms, the leading receiver, 38 catches. Otis Armstrong. A first down and more for the former Purdue star. He's out to the 44-yard line.
Over on the right side of that defensive line, number 60, Al Baker, is really going to be tested today by number 71, Claudie Miner. You see Miner standing him up. Little boost to the jaw there. Another boost to the jaw. The young man fighting, though. He's not going to give it up. Almost got it over in time to get a piece of that tackle on Otis Armstrong. That's some gutty line play down there.
He's going to have trouble getting to the turkey if he keeps bending that head back like that. First down at the 44 for the Broncos. Morton stays on the ground, and Lytle gets nothing, and a flag is down, thrown by the umpire. Ralph Moorcroft, and usually you suspect holding, it is.
On that last play, the advantage went to Claudie Miner, but it was Al Baker coming right across the heels of a cross block there to stack it up. You see him here, number 60. Watch the cross block there now, trying to take advantage of him, lead him to the outside. He slides inside, meets Rob Lytle right dead in the hole. He's not going anywhere.
You can see the center, Bobby Maples, number 50, holding the defensive right tackle, Doug English. So 10 yards, it's first and 20 now for the Broncos at their 33-yard line. Moses to the near side, Jack Golden far left. Keyworth and Armstrong stacked up behind Morton. Some problems with the football. There's no rain inside, but something wrong with the ball. Maybe some stickum on it.
Yeah, probably a little stickum. All of those receivers and offensive backs will have that stickum to allow them to handle that ball. There'll be a little perspiration on that field today. Humidity pretty high, even though we are inside.
Lions appeared to be offside. Bubba Baker coming around along with number 75 Purifoy and 78 English to make the tackle, but somebody jumped the gun as Morton used a long count.
English was offside on that play, Dick, a little eager as he tried to anticipate the count. While we have a chance, let's introduce the offensive line for the Denver Broncos. They've had a lot of trouble keeping this unit together physically. A lot of injuries in their offensive line during the year. On the left side for them, Claudie Miner, number 71. You see him.
Number 78, offside.
If you listen to the call from the official. There's Doug English, who was called for being a little eager on that last play.
We'll get back to the introduction of that offensive line after this play. 5:24 remaining in the first quarter. It's first and 15. Riley Odom's in motion. And out of a double wing, Morton gets it off to Keyworth to the 50 and all the way to the Lion 48 near a first down. So Morton, a little check-off pass to Keyworth as he was about to be swallowed by those blue jerseyed Lions.
Purifoy had come all the way back around and got a hold of Morton's heels. Watch the pressure coming from the right side of your picture. Morton has got to step up to avoid Al Baker. You see number 77 Woodcock, and Purifoy crawling. Gets a hold of his ankles. He's able to get the ball off to number 32 Keyworth, and Keyworth knows what to do with that football once he gets his hands on it.
A note on Morton, that's his 112th pass without an interception, longest in the NFL at this point. Second and 1. Lytle outside has the first down at the Lion 44. Rob Lytle of Michigan running behind this offensive line.
We showed you a little earlier some of the play of number 71, Claudie Miner, the left tackle. The left guard in there right now. There you watch Lytle hobbling off the field. Boy, that would be bad news. He's had an ankle problem. Tom Glassick lost 15 pounds, spent part of the week in the hospital. Bobby Maples at center is in replacing Bill Bryan, who's been hurt with an ankle injury. Paul Howard has a broken sternum, and luckily Tom Neville is healthy. They've sure had their trouble in the offensive line.
Broncos trailing 7-0, first down. Morton wide open as Odom, 35-30, all the way to the 28-yard line. And with that catch, Mr. Riley Odom has now extended his consecutive streak to 29 straight games. Odom's from the University of Houston.
You've got to have time to throw that football. As beat up as they are, the offensive line gives Morton time on this play. Morton finds the open receiver as someone had left Riley Odom just uncovered. Ed O'Neill, the first guy there on the inside, but Odom, of course, has the first down, and it's Denver driving for the touchdown.
Now at the 27-yard line of the Lions. Lonnie Perrin. And he slashes off the left side of the 23, a gain of 4.
Defensive line for the Detroit Lions. Young, aggressive, eager. We've already shown you Al Baker, who's at the right end. Inside, Doug English, John Woodcock. And they picked up Dave Purifoy, who played at Green Bay for a long time. Now is in the defensive line at left end here for the Detroit Lions. Linebackers, quickly Paul Newmoff, Ed O'Neill doing his job in the middle. Charlie Weaver, been their most valuable player the last 2 years on this defensive team.
Good news, Merlin. The injury to Lytle is not believed to be serious. 2nd and 6. Flag down as Perrin drives straight ahead to about the 18-yard line. It appeared there might have been some illegal motion by the Broncos.
I think Craig Morton is getting them with his count in there. I watched Floyd Peters, who's the defensive line coach for the Detroit Lions, and he's working them on sound yesterday. They're really training these defensive linemen to get off the ball on that sound. Well, sometimes you get a little too eager, and a quarterback will give you a sound that gives you the thought that he's going to take that ball, and you're gone. Unfortunately, the ball's still on the ground. You're going to have a 5-yard penalty.
It is against the Lions for offside. I want to talk about that sound after we hear from Fred Silva.
Defense, number 75. Offside, 2nd down.
I recall a game in which you played against the Lions in Detroit. Bill Munson, the quarterback, and the Rams must have been offside 8 or 9 times.
13. I'll never forget.
And he used that inflection. That he'd use one tone, and then he'd give you an extra little high hut, and you'd all jump at it. Dave Preston inside the 15-yard line for another Bronco first down. We've gone end to end with these two teams.
Well, they're 2 long drives. Let's take an opportunity to introduce you to the defensive backs for the Detroit Lions. They've had some injury problems there, but we're going to see Walt Williams, number 21 at the left corner. Jimmy Allen, been questionable with a knee injury all week. He is in the lineup. Mike Burns, number 29. And the number 1 draft pick from Notre Dame, Luther Bradley, at the free safety position. He's at the right corner. We got that a little confused there. Bradley's at the right corner rather than the safety position.
Jimmy Allen is the safety man. First down at the 14-yard line. This is the 8th play since Denver took the ball. Lytle back in the game. No. Craig Morton winds up with a football, and he gets down to the 10-yard line. Some clever little ball handling on the Denver backfield.
Morton has done that twice in the last couple of weeks. Just a solo bootleg out of there. He doesn't even tell the rest of the team.
We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
KXAS TV5, Fort Worth, Dallas.
Number 50, Paul Newmoff on the Lions sidelines. He's one of the graybeards in this young Detroit Lion team. Dick Enberg, Merlin Olsen, Pontiac Silverdome. The Lions lead the Broncos 7-0. A minute remaining in the first quarter. Morton off to Riley Odom for a touchdown. Odom's his 3rd touchdown catch, left all alone.
Same play we saw moments ago. You've got to believe that someone on that Denver staff did some scouting, found a weakness. They knew that if they dropped Riley Odoms, made it look like he was still in the line, that he could get lost and then come out of there. I believe Ed O'Neill is the man responsible for him, although it's hard to tell when a man is that open. And Odom showing his great athletic ability, although he didn't have to run very far to take it in for the touchdown.
Jim Turner will attempt to tack on the extra point out of Norris Weiss's hold. And we've got a new ball game. 2 long, impressive drives. The Lions go 90. The Broncos come back 74 yards. And with 56 seconds left, we're even at 7. It was a short work week for these two teams, and sometimes the defenses don't have a chance to really go to school. At least it looked that way in the first 2 drives, a 7-7 tie.
We're going to go back and take a look at it. I think there's a little trickery involved in that play. I think Riley Odom's laid on the ground, playing dead, getting up. I think that's the reason he was so open on both those plays. Same play on a big first down play, and of course on the touchdown.
Monty Clark sees Lonnie Perrin drill one toward the end zone. Kane will let it go on through. Now, we used to use that slip play, travel this side, fall down, never could get back up again.
Let's see if we can't see what happened to Riley Odoms, why he was so open. Watch it here, a little play action fake. Odoms now is on the right side of your picture. You see how open he is. Just slipped to the ground, I'm sure that's what the linebacker believed, that he was safe to go in coverage somewhere else. You see Odom's on the bench, is having a fantastic year. That's his 5th touchdown catch of the year, averaging 15.2 per catch, which is not that unhealthy in itself. Riley Odoms is a great athlete, and many feel will be, if he's not now, the best tight end in football.
Dexter Bussey on first down for the Lions. Gets about 4. These two running backs for Detroit, King is 5'10" and 205, and Bussey 6'1", 195. They're not big, but both with good leg power.
We talked about Randy Gradishar. He has 223 tackles on the year, an average of 18.5. That's combined tackles and assists. You see him getting off the block right there. Homer Elias trying to get him down. Just could not do it. I think he probably avoids the blocking better than any other linebacker in football.
Look at that comparison between Gradishar and the leading tackler for the Lions, Weaver. Horace King to the line of scrimmage, and that's all. The man who ruined the play was Barney Chavis, 252 pounds of defensive end from South Carolina State. You heard the gun. First quarter in the book here at the Pontiac Silverdome, with the Lions and the Broncos tied at 7. We'll be back with the second quarter of today's game after these messages from your local station. Second quarter, the Broncos and the Lions tied at 7. Lions ball, 3rd down, 6 at their own 24. Oops, Alzado is offside. Danielson will go through with the play, and he hits his tight end, David Hill, for a first down at the 31. The standings in the AFC West, and of course the Denver Broncos. This becomes such an important game. They play Oakland next, and those two teams tied atop the AFC West, with San Diego going to the whip and coming hard, and Seattle certainly will be a factor in the final 4 weeks of this season.
It's a tough division. Seahawks and the San Diego club just really playing much better football than they were expected to play. And of course, head-to-head in a battle with a team like Oakland, Denver simply cannot afford to get a game behind here today.
And then you look at the wild card. 2 AFC teams will play for that wild card spot. Will it be Denver, Oakland, New England, Miami, and you also have Pittsburgh, Houston. So there's some real tough teams coming down these last 4 games.
The battle is just beginning.
On first down, Danielson looks like he wants to go long. Luther Blue, just off the fingertips of the ex-Iowa State star, Luther Blue, and that was a long, long throw by Danielson.
Give you a chance to watch the man who was on the receiving end of that. Luther Blue, number 89, has fine speed. He's going to cover a lot of ground before that ball is finally thrown up. That's Steve Foley, number 43, matching him stride for stride. But had the ball been thrown a little shorter, a little more to the inside, Luther Blue may well have had the ball and a big first down.
Officially measured as a 6-yard skid on the miss by Blue.
Well, that's hard on you, too. That turf will eat you up. He probably burned his arm up pretty good as he rolled over on it.
2nd and 10. Screen. Horace King knocked down at the 35, and that'll be a gain of 4. King, a good pass receiver, 2nd on the club to David Hill. That's his 40th catch of the season. Rizzo and Gradishar made the stop.
Was their leading pass receiver last year, Dick, by the way, as well as their leading runner.
Good all-purpose back. This telecast presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Detroit Lions and the National Football League is prohibited. 3rd and 6 for Danielson and the Lions. Down the middle, open, and intercepted by Bernard Jackson. Jackson at the 50. 40, out of bounds at the 36, through the fingertips of Luther Blue and right into the hands of Jackson, his 5th interception of the year.
Just about had a little altercation over on the sideline. 76 Ballesweiler over there. David Hill in on the tackle, but Bernard Jackson still telling him what he thinks of the hit after the fact. Of course, that's a big turnover, and what a tragic one for a quarterback. Throws it into the hands of the receiver. You'll get a chance to watch it here for yourselves. Actually, the ball well thrown, a little high. Receiver tips it. And now the easy pickup. Number 29, Bernard Jackson. And he's got some speed as he burns up the sideline. Watch the trouble on the sideline here. Develops after he's bounced out of bounds. Hill coming in, puts a little shot on him there. Didn't get to see Baldesweiler, but he ended up coming in too. Bernard Jackson told him in no uncertain terms, leave me alone when I go out of bounds.
Early in the second quarter, the first turnover of the game, a 7-7 tie. Morton trying to capitalize, Rob Lytle, but a flag is down. I believe we have holding against the Denver Broncos. We do. I'd like to go back, compliment our NBC crew, Ted Nathanson, George Finkel, and all the technicians, cameramen. At last, the interception. We had the replay from two different levels, the graphic. They had 5 interceptions this year up before I could say it myself. All the coordination. Nice job, fellas. And kind of fun for us to be here.
Number 62, holding.
62 is Tom Glassick, the left guard from Virginia.
Can't blame him for hanging on a little bit today. They said when he was in the hospital, in a matter of 8 to 10 hours, he lost close to 15 pounds. So he's got to be pretty weak out there today.
In fact, he wasn't supposed to play. 1st and 20. Otis Armstrong stopped at the line of scrimmage by Doug English, and then he twisted forward for a couple 3 yards. Ed O'Neill finished him on. There's English from Texas, second-round pick a couple of years ago. You saw his Great Dane. I think he calls him Spike, 215 pounds. That's a lot of nail.
Spike is bigger than some of the players on the field today here. Maybe they ought to suit him up.
10 pounds less than his master.
I'll tell you, Monty Clark is beginning to worry about football players. He's had a lot of injuries here. We'll give you a chance to hear more about that later on.
Morton fakes the draw. He's in trouble. The Lions, they call them the Silver Rush. Purifoy and Baker make the sack.
Let's go down to the line of scrimmage. Give you a chance to see the stunt there. 78 English drives to the outside. Baker goes all the way inside the second tackle. Actually a double stunt. Morton stepping up, avoids the first wave of rushers. Could not avoid the second rush. Quickly another angle. You see Morton. Now watch Morton step up. Avoids English here. Gets inside. Should have unloaded it. That's Purifoy and 60 Baker knocking him down. That's 43 sacks on the year.
3rd and 29. Baker almost got him again. That's Odom. Almost intercepted by Walt Williams and Mike Burns. Burns 29, Williams 21.
And that's what pressure will do to a quarterback. Morton makes a bad pass here. Watch it as it comes right at you. See him trying to avoid the pressure. Throws it up. Actually, 2 Lions have the best chance at taking that football. Had they not collided in midair, it would have been an interception. Mike Burns, number 29, and James Hunter, the 2 Lions who were there for that football.
Okay, Bucky Dilts will have to kick it now for the Denver Broncos. Luther Blue standing at the 10. Dilts has not had a particularly good year, but had a great kick against the Jets a month ago, 73 yards, longest in the league.
Tough snap.
Beautiful high kick. Fair catch, or will they let it go? At the 10-yard line, incidental contact with Godwin Turk, 55 of the Broncos. The Lions have the ball. 2.5 minutes into the second quarter. A tie game at 7. Now the Lions stop the Denver Broncos after the pass interception, a penalty, and a sack. And now with the kick, Detroit has the ball at the 10-yard line. Red Miller, whose teams have never lost 2 in a row in his 2-year reign as the head man at Denver. And they're currently on a modest 2-game winning streak. Inside goes Dexter Bussey for a few yards. A reminder that our NBC NFL coverage continues on Sunday with NFL 78 at 12:30 and some more important games. The Jets in Miami, San Diego, Kansas City, and the Houston Oilers, the talk of the National Football League currently, will host Cincinnati, a team with a good young defense. Saw them last week. Nearly beat Pittsburgh 7-6. Patriots at Baltimore. That's a rematch. Seattle at Oakland. Remember, the Seahawks really handed the Raiders a rough loss up at the Kingdome earlier this year.
Great football.
Inside handoff. To the 15-yard line goes Horace King, smothered in a sea of Bronco white, blue, and orange. And out of the pile comes 72 Don Latimer, the rookie from Miami, Florida, acting as though somebody might have grabbed him.
One of the toughest jobs on the field is playing at that nose tackle position. Latimer just takes the center, Larry Terry, stands him up, reads the ball carrier, slips off Terry, and stacks it up in the middle. Boy, that man is strong. He's their #1 draft pick. He's going to be a great one.
Latimer is 6'3", 265 with 4.8 speed. Big call for the Lions, 3rd and 5. And Danielson's going to throw for it from his own 3-yard line. Fortunately dropped by the Lions. It would have been a bigger loss had Horace King held on to the football.
We're seeing a lot of different defensive linemen for the Broncos. They had a whole new unit in there. Bryson Manor and Latimer and John Grant, number 63. Actually, Red Miller will alternate frequently during the game. Believes that he needs to have fresh troops in there to rush the passer.
Tom Skladany, no family, so he said he brought his pet accordion along for the picture. He's a pretty good musician.
He said he'd been playing since he was 7 years old, Dick.
Dangerous Rick Upchurch into the lineup for the Broncos is deep. He hasn't seen duty as a kick returner for several weeks. Down in a hurry at the Lion 45-yard line. A 37-yard kick by Skladany. Leonard Thompson made the tackle for Detroit. 11 minutes remaining in the first half. At the Silverdome, we're tied at 7. Some fans like to sit right there in the end zone, see those holes open. A lot of the scouts will sit there.
It's especially good in this stadium because you're so close to the field.
Denver's ball at the Lion 46, a 7-7 time. Morton sacked again. Pressure from Baker outside, and Doug English got him inside.
Oh, there's some bad news on the field. Number 50, Maples, very slow getting up on that one. Watch it from ground level. You see the struggle going on in the pits. Baker breaking loose on the inside, would not be blocked, just drives Morton to the turf. Another angle. Watch the pressure they generate. Boy, they're just coming from every possible angle. Baker on the backside. English actually knocked to the ground. Would not be denied that sack. Bounced up and knocked Morton down.
44 sacks to lead the league. New England was the leader here with 58. Baltimore second with 47. So that's a big total for these young Lions. Otis Armstrong, not much of a hole. Stopped near midfield. The Broncos using 6 different running backs, and again the Red Miller influence of using all of his players. And look at the continuity there. Perrin leads them all with 403, and Preston, the 6th back, the rookie, 227. So there won't be any one running star, but when you have that kind of availability, 6 men who can all do the job, that makes it tough on the defense.
Is there any question of who he'd send the plays in with? With that kind of balance at the running back positions, they're shuttling plays in from the sideline.
Currently, it's Perrin and Lytle behind Morton. 5th defensive back is in for the Lions. Oops. Blown play. Morton didn't have anyone to toss the ball to. Lytle had gone out of the backfield into a pass pattern. English and Turafoy with a tackle.
Technically behind the line of scrimmage, that could conceivably be called a sack, although it appeared to be definitely a running play. English, by the way, has 11.5 sacks on the year. That's certainly a fine total for a man playing in the defensive tackle position. A little tougher to get pressure from there.
They call that a sack.
Yep, 3 sacks on the day.
That's James Big Game Hunter. And Larry Canada rudely knocked him to the carpet for the Denver Broncos. Lions ball at their 19 with a timeout. 9 minutes, 16 seconds left in the first half. They're still tied at 7. Position in all of sport, cornerback in the National Football League, and there's one of the best in the business, Louis Wright.
He's got great speed. He's one of the few cornerbacks that can stay with those 4-4, 4-5 receivers, and he's also not afraid to come up and kiss you on the line of scrimmage.
We'll keep our NBC spotlight on Wright. First down, Lions at the 19. Inside, Dexter Bussey, barely a yard gain, if that. Joe Rizzo, Barney Chavis leading the defensive charge of the Broncos, with Reuben Carter getting a piece of the action as well.
That early vulnerability of the middle of that defensive line for the Broncos suddenly shut off here in the second quarter. Of course, they'd like to stop the Lions deep in their own territory, have another shot at a touchdown here in this second quarter, Dick.
And see if Danielson goes to the air. 7-7 the score. Lions scored on an opening drive 90 yards. First time Broncos had the ball, they went 74 yards to score. Gary Danielson. Oh, beautifully broken up by Randy Gradishar. Oh, what a middle linebacker he is. Along with all those tackles, he has 4 interceptions. He was making the tackle and also knocked the ball away with a free hand.
Dexter Bussey coming out of the backfield has it looks like a little opening, but Randy Gradishar step for step with him. Watch as he reaches in, gets an arm on Bussey as Bussey is trying to control that football, absolutely knocks it away. Hill on the outside, you watch him give him a little chuck there, and there's Louis Wright. Watch the back pedal, stays with Hill until he sees the pattern up front, then circles over in behind, controlling his area.
Third down 10 for Danielson and the Lions. Gets out of pressure. Incomplete at the 39-yard line. A diving try by David Hill, the tight end. Danielson, one of the things the Lions like about this young man is he's agile. He can get out of trouble and still make the throw off balance, and he almost hit his man.
We talked about Louis Wright, the back pedal. You see it there, stays in it until he sees that there's nothing coming his way, then goes all the way across the field and literally is almost to the other sideline by the time that pass is caught. That's great range.
Spladany to kick it. Rick Upchurch stands at the Denver 41. Beauty. A beautiful kick. 33, 35, 40, 43. Reggie Pinckney made the stop for the Lions. Now the Broncos have it again. They're losing ground, however, on the exchange of punts. 8:09 left in the half. Denver 7, the Lions 7. And you'll see some of the best vying for $100,000 in prize money. Anthony Weber, Roth, and Robinson with the men. Virginia Norton, Betty Morris, the ladies. Jim Simpson will call it for you. Coming up December 9th, 4 o'clock Eastern time here on NBC, the Grand Prix of bowling. Denver's ball, 43-yard line with 8 minutes remaining in the first half, a 7-7 tie. Craig Morton sends Haven Moses to the left, Jack Dolbin to the right. To John Keyworth. He gets a couple of yards out to the 45. John Woodcock made the tackle.
Looking down on the field, Dick, have to feel that after those 2 very strong drives by the offensive teams, the game has suddenly changed, and now it's the defensive teams who are dominating. Looking down at the line of scrimmage, Paul Howard, number 50, got all he can handle, and John Woodcock in there, but he's been hurt, hasn't he, Dick?
Number 60, actually, Howard. 50 is Maple. 60, Howard has a broken sternum breastbone, and he's wearing an actual steel plate under his uniform and then foam rubber. John Keyworth again, about the same result. A short gain makes it 3rd down and 6. So he is, there's Maple's 50, but 60 is the man, Howard from Brigham Young. And incredibly, he's wearing, and you can see how bulky he is, on the chest, a steel plate, and then that's covered by foam rubber to protect against that injury.
He's one of the strongest players on this Bronco team. In fact, my brother Phil, who played with the Broncos for a while, said, "Why is he wearing steel? His chest is like steel." You bounce bullets off that guy.
3rd down and 6. The Lions will be coming with that pass rush. And a blitz is on. Dumped off to Odoms. He did not get both feet down. He got his left foot down, but not his right, as Morton had to unload not only that fierce defensive line, but a linebacker coming as well.
Morton was expecting a lot of blitzes from this Lion team today, and of course his favorite receiver, and that is his tight end, Riley Odoms. Read the blitz, went quickly to the outside. Morton threw it just a little too far. Odoms got 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Of course, the ball has to be turned over.
Vito Bay Perilli there with Morton on the sidelines. Bucky Diltz delivers a high kick toward Luther Blue. At the 21-yard line, and a flag is down at the line of scrimmage. We may have had a Bronco releasing before the kick. That's right. See if the Lions will ask for it to be punted again.
They may well do that. Diltz has not been that consistent during the year. Something else that you kind of get the feeling up here in the booth, Dick, that even though the battle has been very even to this point, 7-7, I get the feeling that Denver knows they're going to win this game, and that Detroit, like many young teams...
Offense, number 50 on the kick, illegally downfield. Refuse. First down.
Now they're going to take the ball. But I get the feeling that even though the Lions have played well, as a young team, they're still concerned about their problems.
6:41 remaining in this Thanksgiving Day special from Pontiac, Michigan. And we'll be right back with more first half action.
Play the Detroit Lions. I'd like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. I'd also like to say hi to Mom and Nikki and everybody in Newark. Tell old Jaime to take it easy in Colorado.
The Lions and the Broncos 7-7. Defensive coach Floyd Peters of Detroit along the near sidelines.
He's the man responsible for that silver rush, that fine defensive line.
First down carry. Straight ahead goes Horace King right into the teeth of that Bronco interior defense. 2-yard gain. Alzado, Rizzo collaborate on the stop. Peters had the San Francisco 49er lineman under Monty Clark, and certainly, or before Clark even, and developed them into a mean pass rush.
They called them the Gold Rush. They put together 61 sacks. That's second best in the history of the NFL. And he's already on track with that here in Detroit. Boy, he has developed some very aggressive young defensive linemen on that Detroit team. He looks great, too. He's down to 215 pounds.
Danielson crosses the King, and he meets a lot of resistance at the 25. It'll be third down and 6. Swenson led the charge.
We talked about Randy Gradishar's pursuit. He got there a little too early this time. Watch what happens to Gradishar. Makes some fine pursuit. They don't get a chance to block him, but he ends up in the hole before he's ready to tackle, and he actually takes the blow. That back said, not this time, big boy. I'm going to put it on you.
There again, that statistic. Gradishar, the leading tackler for Denver. Swenson is second. Weaver is the leading Detroit tackler, and he doesn't even have half of Gradishar's total.
That's amazing. Every time I see that, I think there's something phony about the stats until we watch the game, and he has that many tackles in a ball game.
Right through the hands of Horace King, and a flag is down. Illegal procedure, the call against the Lions. Broncos undoubtedly will decline that one. They want the football.
Yeah, they'll force the turnover here of the football on fourth down. You see the punting team headed into the ball game right
Number
here.
62. Illegal procedure. Refused.
Well, Merlin, you've been there many times. Now, the fans look at this game and say they started, both teams drove quickly to touchdowns. So here we have a wide-open offensive game. Then suddenly it's been totally shut down.
Well, part of that, certainly adjustments being made on both sides, getting a feel for the game plan of the other team and saying, okay, you're going to do that. We're going to change our plan and go a little bit differently on defense. But also the tempo appears to have shifted a little bit.
Sladany, dying spiraled up. Church, 45. He's at the 50 and almost squirted through. Finally down at the 44 of Detroit. And we have a flag down and I believe a clip against Denver back at the 41-yard line. So the Broncos, like the Lions, one of the top penalized teams in the league, and it stopped them here in the second quarter.
Well, 39, Leonard Thompson down there, and I don't think he'd want to get kicked out of this game. They're already so short of wide receivers that could be a real problem. Louis Wright, another guy involved in the fisticuffs down there. Talking about the return game of the Denver Broncos, Upchurch, such an important part of that, and he's been absent from this lineup for quite a while. The officials down there telling some of the players to get away so they can explain the options among themselves. But Upchurch, one of the most exciting players in football. You look over on the sideline, Monty Clark saying, hey, come on, keep your cool in there, Leonard. We can't afford to lose you. There's Upchurch, number 80. He's had a bruise, a very deep bruise of his calf. The same kind of injury.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. 39, Detroit. 23, Denver. On the dead ball. First down.
So that serves as negating penalties, but the kick return counts, and Denver has it at the 44-yard line.
And importantly, neither player is going to be kicked out of the game.
Halftime, one of the greats in line history, pro football history, linebackers. Joe Schmidt will be featured. Mike and Brian have another exceptional halftime show for you. Right into nothing but blue shirts goes Lonnie Perrin, maybe a yard gain. Al Baker, Bubba, his nickname from Colorado State. That's where Denver trains their summer training camp. So Baker watched the Broncos work out while he was a collegiate.
Floyd Peters told me that Bubba Baker is most known for his play against the pass, but he plays the run just about as well. You see him there stuffing the offensive lineman, getting a big chance to grab a hold of that back. He pulled him about 10 yards back before he turned him loose. He's going to be a great one. He is a great one right today.
He is 6'6" and 260. Oh, the umpire broke up the pass. How do you do? One of life's embarrassing moments. Umpire Ralph Moorcroft broke up the play.
And Ralph said, I had it right here, but it went right through my fingers and went to the ground. Right. No question about it. Moorcroft trying to get out of the road. Ball hits him right in his stomach, and I swear if he'd have just reached down, he could have caught it. I wonder if he catches that ball. Do they give Denver the reception on it?
I don't know. Maybe the officials will run off with it. He didn't think it was funny. 3rd down and 9, and watch the Lion pass rush. Might have been offside. The play was whistled dead. Apparently there was contact in the line before the snap. John Woodcock in the middle of the Lion defense had charged prematurely. Was he drawn offside?
Well, it looks like Woodcock pointing toward the Broncos, saying, yes, they did draw me offside. We'll have to let the officials sort that one. No question that Woodcock was across the line of scrimmage, but was there motion on the offensive side to pull him off? Apparently so, yep.
John makes his home in Hawaii. Went to the University of Hawaii. Was a 3rd-round pick of the Lions 2 years ago. Denver, another penalty.
Ball start, 76, offense, 3rd down.
Going into this week's play, Atlanta led the NFL with 104 penalties, followed by Cleveland 101, the Rams 100. Denver and Detroit tied 97 each. Can you figure anything statistically? Some would say, well, the most penalized team, they're aggressive. Maybe that's a positive sign. Others say, no, you can't have those penalties and win the big one.
There's no question that penalties hurt you, but an aggressive team will have penalties. It's a balance thing.
John Keyworth on a draw as Morton knew that pass rush was coming, but he's far short of the 1st down, gets it down to about the 43-yard line, and in comes punter Bucky Dilts. So this 2nd quarter, the Lions have been pinned deep in their own end. Denver almost every possession near midfield or Detroit territory, but the Broncos have not even been able to manage a field goal. That's a good sign for Lion fans.
That's certainly a good sign for the Lion defense that has been just rib tough here in this 2nd quarter.
Luther Blue at the 10. That one headed for the end zone. So on the touchback, the Lions have the ball at the 20-yard line. Yeah, coming up on NBC Sports World, a special edition a week from this Saturday at 5:30 Eastern Time and 5:30 on the West Coast. You'll see the WBC Light Heavyweight Championship from Marsala, Italy. Manny Harlow versus Marvin Johnson. Keep that in mind. Sports World, of course, will be back with us full-time early next year, but there's a special edition. Boxing action December 2nd.
The centers at home realizing that was a bad snap. Maples, one of the best deep snappers in the league, has had trouble now that he's having to play full-time, getting the ball back to the punter, back to the holder on the placements.
Dilts did a good job of short hopping the ball. That's Dexter Bussey. 8-yard gain. The best run by the Lions since their opening drive.
Bodine and Terry doing a good job in there for the offense. You know, Larry Terry's a good story. Monty Clark was telling us that here's a young man that came into the Lion camp, was not really expected to do too well. Extremely heavy, actually about 30 pounds overweight. They talked to him, they explained what they wanted him to do, lost 30 pounds, changed his physical makeup, and has become an excellent football player.
That's Larry Terry over the ball, number 54, still weighs 260. Danielson for Rick Kane, who struggles forward for a 1st down. Boy, you could hear the pads pop on that one.
Boy, you could hear the pop coming all the way from the top. 25. Horace King just put a knock on 51 Swenson. What's number 51? goes inside. His responsibility to shut that hole down. Look at the contact right there between Swenson and King. Actually closed that hole, kept him from popping clean, but the drive of the offensive back giving him a couple of yards gain.
We're late in the second quarter. 2 minutes, 20 seconds remaining before halftime. First down at the Lion 32. Bussey in motion. Danielson, good protection. And he hits King, secured by the ever-present Randy Gradishar. And we have another little flurry of tempers. No flag. Dexter Bussey apparently didn't like what was happening as he engaged Bill Thompson of the Broncos.
Billy Thompson all over the field. You get a chance to see for yourself. That's Gradishar. Slips underneath him here. Let's see where Thompson comes there. Right at the top of your picture. That's Bussey and Thompson having a little fisticuff action there. Number 66 comes over and pulls him apart. He said, hey, fellas, enough of that. We don't want to have a fight here. 66, Bryson Manor, the defensive end, as they've rotated the defensive lineman again for the Denver Broncos.
2-minute warning. The Lions have the ball on 2nd and 11. The Broncos and Detroit tied at 7.
Howdy, I'm Doug English from Dallas, Texas. I'd like to say happy Thanksgiving to my family in Dallas watching the game.
41-year-old Monty Clark. He went to Kingsburg, California High School. If that sounds familiar, it's because you followed the great decathlon exploits of Rayford Johnson. Rayford Johnson was a senior in high school when in the same school Monty Clark was a junior, and Jimmy Johnson, a great defensive back with the 49ers so many years, was a freshman. Well, that was some high school.
Must have had some fine sports teams there, I'll tell you that.
Danielson with time running out in the first half, 7-7 tie. He had to unload that one. David Hill was the closest line to the ball, but Danielson just got rid of it. Bob Swenson coming in on a blitz.
You wonder why that ball's thrown away. Watch the play at number 51, Swenson. Chucks the receiver on the line of scrimmage. Hill stays with him step for step, anticipating the break up the field. Of course, the quarterback had no choice but to throw it away. Interesting observation at this point in the game, Dick. After those two impressive drives, 74 yards by Denver and 90 yards for a TD in each case, only 2 first downs by Detroit, none by Denver since that first opening drive.
And remains tied at 7 as Rick Keene on 3rd down. They try to cross up the Broncos with a run, but it doesn't work. 1:48 left, and see if Denver calls a time. They have not as yet as they hustle their punt return team, and if the Lions now, the Broncos will call time. The official is.
Danielson said prior to the game that they hope to keep Denver off balance with that kind of plays. It's kind of a throwaway perhaps, but they've got to show Denver that they're not afraid to run in passing situations and pass in running situations, or they really can't match up against that Denver defense.
Skladany, if he's smart, will let that clock tick away. There's still 15 seconds on the clock. Why not use it up? Denver didn't call time, and Denver, well, they don't. And does he ever hit one? Oh, my. All the way to the 5-yard line. Upchurch looking for blockers. Now he has a wall. 25, 30, 35, 40. And Rick Upchurch all the way to the 49-yard line. Reggie Pinckney saved the touchdown, but what a piece of ad-libbing in the open field by Upchurch.
So often happens when a kicker hits one that well, he simply out-kicks his own rushers as they come down the field, and Upchurch able to get everybody set up and then break outside the containment and almost got away. He gets away from Skladany right there, and boy, that's a great effort by Pinckney, running him down from behind. Hard man to catch in the open field.
Broncos, 1 minute, 2 seconds left in the half. Wide open, Odoms. And he's out of the hold of Walt Williams down to the 34-yard line, but we have another flag against Denver. The Broncos are being penalized almost every play.
I don't blame the Denver offensive line for trying to hold. They're just trying to protect that man, number 7, Craig Morton. And the Silver Rush is just erupting off that line of scrimmage, giving them all kinds of fits in there.
Offense, number 71, holding, first down.
The hold is against Claudie Miner trying to stop Bubba Baker.
Last week, Baker was against Art Shell of the Oakland Raiders. Shell was called 3 times for holding in that game, trying to keep this young man off the quarterback.
And Baker said after the game he didn't even have to take his uniform off. Shell had already done it for him.
Shell had scripted for him.
At the 41, first and 20. To the draw play, and that's Perrin. And another flag is down as Perrin gets to the 45-yard line, and a late flag was thrown back at the 40-yard line of Denver. NFL 78 at halftime. Another hold against the Broncos, and Red Miller can't believe it. That was a very late call by the official following the play. It was after the play had gone by.
You have to wonder at the intelligence of holding someone that far behind the play, if indeed that's what was happening, but a very costly error for
Offense, number 76, holding.
Tom Neville gets the call. That's the 4th holding penalty on the Broncos, who started after the brilliant 49-yard punt return of Upchurch to the 49 of Detroit. Now it's first down back at the Bronco 36, and now Denver best beware of a possible turnover.
And first and 30. Of course, the Lions would like to put some pressure on here, get a fumble or an interception, have a chance to score themselves.
Give it to Dave Preston, the rookie, right into the arms of number 29, Mike Burns. Burns from the University of Southern California.
You see Burns taped up there. Must have a groin problem as they try to strap him up. You see the ace bandage wrapped around to try and keep some pressure on that inside area of his leg. Very common ailment, especially on the artificial turf, which has a tendency to stretch you out. Talking about Tommy Neville earlier, the penalty being on him earlier, it's a good story for these Broncos. He's added some real stability. They've had so many people hurt inside at the guards and center positions. They've leaned heavily on their 2 tackles, Neville and Claudie Miner. When Neville came to the Broncos, they wanted him to play left tackle. Claudie Miner was playing on the right side. Neville said, I broke that drive leg. I can't play on that side. Red Miller said, gosh, I don't think I can ask Claudie Miner to move. He might be an all-pro there this year. Claudie Miner came to Red Miller, said, I'd like to trade places. I know that Tom will have problems on that side of the line of scrimmage. Volunteered to switch across to the left side. That's the kind of unselfishness. That's a very important word that you have to have if you're going to be a winning team.
Well, maybe an average fan could liken that to if you're writing right-handed all your life, suddenly the teacher says you've got to write left-handed. It's a tough adjustment.
You wouldn't think it would be that tough, but for an offensive lineman, everything changes. The strength positions, the steps, the importance of opening to the outside, and really it's a difficult transition. Miner now has made it 2 different times. Played on one side in college, shifted over to the left side, played the right side in college, shifted to the left, shifted to the right, now back to the left. He's really moved around.
38 seconds left in the half. 7-7 tie. The draw to Armstrong. And he gets out to the 44-yard line with 31 seconds, 30, and the Broncos are not going to call time. Apparently Denver just going to run out the clock as we look at 3rd down and still about 17.
Craig Morton buying back part of that yardage, but with first and 30, you don't have that many options.
Well, Denver is going to be content with a 7-7 tie. They had position all of the second quarter, 4 different possessions, could not get a point. First half of this, and a great man both on and off the field. And I like that part of the tradition. Some franchises honor their former stars more than others. Detroit historically has done that, and I like it, don't you, Merlin?
A handsome man and worthy of every bit of honor that he's received today. And I heard someone talk about young David Hill, gave him an excellent comment, said he's starting to look a little bit like Charlie Sanders. Charlie made the big plays for this franchise over the years. Looking back at that first half, we've got to wonder at what happened to the 2 offenses. And you look right there as Norris Weiss warming up on the sideline. Perhaps some thought in the mind of Red Miller, who will be my quarterback? He has rotated quarterbacks, has not been afraid to do that. Weiss is healthy now after breaking a kneecap earlier in the year. But certainly the one thing that we have to know is that whoever's going to win this game better get some offense on track. only 2 first downs after those opening drives. Both of those on the Detroit side. As you look at the statistics, not terribly impressive offensively for either team.
Yeah, one of the numbers that is important that is not on that list, penalties. 46 yards against Denver and 10 against the Lions. And it was more than 46 because the Broncos several times had big gains called back.
Well, those penalties are costly. I think the major factor, though, in limiting Denver's offense in the first half, the tremendous rush put on Morton by the defensive front 4 of the Lions. The Silver Rush, as they're called, living up to their reputation and more in that first half, making it extremely difficult. Morton had to go to the draw to get away from that big rush. Had to take some opportunities to do something other than throw the ball, and it hurt him.
A final standing ovation for Charlie Sanders, one of the ex-Lion heroes. Haven Moses comes from across the field to congratulate Sanders. A nice touch. Riley Odoms, number 88, a tight end. He comes over to give one of the all-time NFL greats his congratulations. Happy Thanksgiving. That's a nice touch.
Well, I'm sure that over the years, Riley Odoms, who was trying to upgrade his own performance, studied the moves of Charlie Sanders, copied a few of the tricks, and has put them to work in his bag of tricks over the years.
Well, do you see, along that line of thinking, the Lions, during the course of this year, have called upon a lot of trick or gadget plays. Do you think we'll see some of them? They played a rather conservative first half offensively.
Well, they wanted to slug it out if they could. Ideally, they'd run the ball, and if they could run the ball convincingly, and statistically, they're safest when they're doing that down the field. You look at the total offense for both the teams in the first and second half, and you see those big numbers reflected by those opening drives, and then almost nothing for the Broncos after that, and very little for the Lions.
And again, Detroit had to be most encouraged by the fact that they had to play deep in their own end in that second period, while the Broncos always had good field position but couldn't score. And Al Baker, he's going to be tough to vote against him for NFL Rookie of the Year.
Well, all those NFL players that we talked about watching this game around the league, more than impressed with the performance of that young man and this fine defensive line.
Were you impressed at all with Earl Campbell Monday night?
No, was I ever? Listen, I'm glad I don't have to put on a helmet and go try and tackle him.
Another hand for Sanders as he leaves the field of play. Denver will receive the kickoff to start the second half. Benny Ricardo teeing it up. Young man from San Diego State, born in Paraguay. Moved here with his family to the United States at the age of 10. At the other end of Ricardo's kick will be Lonnie Perrin. He has Preston and Jackson on the wings. 7-7 tie. We open the second half. Most important game for the Broncos if they're to stay with Oakland in the AFC West. The Lions looking for another morale-building victory. Perrin, 10, 15, 20. Out to the 25. A flag goes down. So just as the first half ended, so does the second half begin with a yellow handkerchief.
And that's Charlie West. Flag thrown on him, an ex-Detroit Lion, clipping on that play. And again, the yellow flags on the field, very costly to Denver. The defensive lineman out for the Lions. Let's see if Detroit's defense can pick it up where they left it off.
Run back, number 56, flipping. First down.
Well, we blamed that on Charlie West. It was thrown in his vicinity. It was
Larry
not, however, on him.
Morton at quarterback open the second half. Lytle and Keyworth, but we'll see all the running backs. Dolvin and Moses the wide men. Riley Odoms, 88. He was the man Morton went to most often in the first half. Deep in his own end, almost a fumble. Keyworth barely got the handoff. No gain.
And they did pick it up where they left off, talking about Detroit's defense. Number 75, Dave Purifoy, coming in from the outside, would not give Keyworth room to the outside, got a hold of the leg, and simply refused to let go.
And you have to credit Keyworth with a great job of handling that handoff from quarterback Morton. He actually gathered it in off his left hip.
You don't want to fumble down there.
Second and 10. Otis Armstrong ducks through a hole on the left side of the 16-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 4.
Well, the day hasn't been all a bed of roses for number 60, Bubba Baker. You watch him here on the outside shoulder of Riley Odoms, and then he takes the block right there from number 32, Keyworth, who's one of the toughest dudes around. Keyworth about 230 pounds. He'll take it on with those defensive ends.
Mike Burns made the stop. 3rd and 4. There's the front four of the Lions. They had 3 sacks in the first half. In motion is Odoms. Morton. They got him again. A fumble. And the Lions recover. John Woodcock, number 77. Purifoy made the hit. Woodcock recovered.
Let's go back and look at the pressure that was put on Craig Morton. Pressure from number 60, Baker, coming around the outside, although Claude Minor does a good job of keeping him behind the quarterback. Purifoy coming in, gets a hold of the arm. The ball is loose right there. There it is, number 77, John Woodcock, just simply out-scrambling Claude Minor for that football.
Credit Purifoy, number 75, with a tackle. 1st and goal from the 10. Handed off to 24. Bussey. Saving the touchdown. Joe Rizzo, number 59, caught him around the shoelaces.
Oh, they pinned the Denver defense in, and had it not been for the great reaction and quickness of Rizzo, as you see him there, very angry, they would have had a touchdown off the run by Bussey. Here it is again. There looks to be all kinds of room to the outside. Louis Wright, the corner, is ducked inside. And Rizzo, that's just a great reaction to get to the outside, make that shoestring tackle, save what looked to be an easy touchdown.
Bussey with 38 yards in the first half, the leading rusher on both sides. 2nd and goal at the 3. Bussey down at the 1-yard line. Randy Gradishar led the Denver defensive charge. 3rd and goal.
You don't think there's a little pressure on that Denver defense. You see Randy Gradishar. Here's another shot at Gradishar, reacting to the play, sorting up through the middle. The initial hit right there on Dexter Busby, and he gets that secondary support from Bernard Jackson.
And he needed it. Danielson needs quiet.
Right into the eyes of the quarterback.
Rick Kane did not get in. Randy Gradishar, that sounded like a rifle going off.
Oh, you could feel that one all the way up there in the booth. And what a performance by Denver's defense. Watch Gradishar. Watch him read the play, penetrate, and just destroy Kane before he can have a chance to get to that line of scrimmage. That's as pretty a hit as you'll ever see from a defensive linebacker.
The reaction in the background, the boos from the fans, obviously those are the Coaches Association here in Detroit and Pontiac area that want Clark to go for the touchdown, not the field goal, but Clark apparently will go for 3. Ricardo out of Danielson's hole.
He wants the sure points.
He's got him. Timeout. 11:15 left in the 3rd quarter. The Lions turn a fumble into 3 points. Detroit 10, Denver 7. How thankful he must be for being here today. He went to the World Football League, Canada for a while, went back, coached at his alma mater, Purdue. No one really thought he would be a first stringer in the NFL, but he is now. And there's the man who stopped the touchdown, 53. Randy Gradishar, he's putting on a clinic.
He really is. I think important to say, too, it wasn't bad plays on Detroit's part, but great plays on the Denver defense that kept them away from that touchdown.
Ricardo's kick to Perrin at the 11. He's at the 20, and oh, is he hit? 58, Tony Dakin made the stop. Look at him. He's fired up. The 2nd-year man from Georgia Tech.
Well, I think the whole Denver Bronco team is fired up as we watch Dakin from start to finish. So important to get good performance on the special teams from people who are not in the ball game. Number 58, Dakin, getting away from Bob Moore. Number 87, all alone on Lonnie Perrin, makes an excellent open field tackle, forces Denver to start deep in their own territory.
Denver, a critical game for the Broncos, trailing by 3, early 3rd quarter. Rob Lytle to the 24-yard line, but Washington 52 and Burns 29. Two former 49ers under Monty Clark made the tackle.
9 Detroit Lions either in on that tackle or right around it. And right now you can bet there are a few nervous flutters over on the other side of the line of scrimmage as Red Miller and his crew concerned about that even head-to-head contest with the Oakland Raiders and the fact that they don't want to go in there looking at an 8-5 record.
And also that wild card spot should Oakland win the division. There are other 8-4 teams around, Miami and Houston, and it might be tough from that direction. It's a very important game for the Broncos. Morton. Did he catch it? A great shoe-top catch by Riley Odoms. He took that one right off the green.
Morton throwing that one a little bit short, Dick, and Odoms showing you that his arms are long enough to go right to the carpet for it as he scooped it up just like a cleaner. Here you see Morton rolling out, buys a little extra time. Now watch Odoms go down. Right there, he took that right off his shoe top. That's a beautiful catch.
It's tougher once it gets below the waist. The difficulty of catch has to increase the farther down toward the feet it happens to be.
It's extremely hard to hang on to a football thrown that way.
First down, Broncos at their 45. Quick pop by Perrin. And Lonnie Perrin gets 9 yards before Jimmy Allen. They call him the Spider-Man out of UCLA, number 40, made the tackle. How'd he get there, Merlin?
Well, the defensive line is rather young. You see Woodcock being opened up to this side. They've got a good shot inside on English. He reacted to the ball carrier. And I'll tell you, Lonnie Perrin did a good job of just setting him up and zipping outside. Al Baker not reacting quick enough to the inside to seal it off. He's got a few things to learn, as does English in there. Well, they got room for that. When they can rush the way they do, they're going to learn the other part of it.
Second down and a foot. Perrin again. Former star at Illinois. Doesn't get much, but it's enough for the first down. Perrin with 4.6 speed and 222 pounds. Hometown, Washington, D.C.
Well, you got to wonder a little bit. Of course, talking to Red Miller, you know that his philosophy is that when his defense is playing very well, he'll take the risks. They had a 2nd and 1 there. That's a throwaway down. But apparently he's concerned. He's playing all the short numbers. He wants the conservative game call, and he went with it on 2nd and 1, just got himself a first down.
First down at the Lion 38. Denver trailing by 3. Perrin again. Become the workhorse. It took 4 Lions to bring him down at the 38-yard line. English and Purifoy with help from the secondary. Burns and Washington. Second down and 5. Lytle in, Armstrong out. There's Benny Ricardo, owns a boutique, women's boutique out on the West Coast around the San Diego area. Moses right, Dolvin left. The wide receivers of the Broncos have not caught a pass. Not a pass by either Moses or Dolvin in the game. Lytle. Walt Williams, number 21, made the force from his left cornerback spot. A loss to the Broncos.
Fine play by Walt Williams. Inside, you won't get much to see of it, but Purifoy stood off the double team. Watch it right there. You see the double team stacked up right there, forces the play outside. Howard has to dip outside. The pulling guard leaves the back naked. Walt Williams able to come up and make an excellent tackle. That's good defense right there.
Williams has 9.5 speed. He shot up from the secondary. 39-yard line, 3rd and 6. Lion fans trying to help out. Perrin, and he's out of bounds. Very close to the first down at the 33-yard line, and Morton was popped by Woodcock. He's okay.
You wonder why these quarterbacks are so well paid. You better believe that Craig Morton earns whatever he's paid. Watch it here. Gets away from Al Baker, just rolling out. Woodcock right on top of him. Ball out. Good catch by Perrin. And Perrin sees that corner stripe, but Dave Washington just won't quite give him enough. Let's go back and look at Baker. Baker had a chance at that sack, but Morton's coming his way. Oh, look at the face mask right there. It's no wonder he didn't see it.
4th down and 1. first down. He's returned home. Former Wolverine star Jimmy Allen made the stop at the 31-yard line. So the Broncos buy 4 more downs. 6.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter.
Rob Lytle did a good job of setting up that play as he started to the outside, spread the defense a little bit, and then quickly ducked back up, using his power to get that first down. I think Red Miller made a smart call there. Didn't figure it was in range for Turner. Didn't want to punt it. There was nothing to gain. Simply went for it.
10-7, Detroit. 6 minutes left, third quarter. Morton to Moses. Out of bounds. No catch. Walt Williams was beaten on the play, but Moses ran out of playing room.
Williams actually did a pretty good job, though. Even though he was not right on top of the play, his position screened Haven Moses. Morton had to throw the ball behind him rather than in front as he would like to have thrown it, and that made it very difficult for Moses to do anything but what he did, and of course that carried him out of bounds, incomplete.
And it also carries Morton into the huddle saying, uh-oh, they're going to be playing pass now. 2nd and 10 at the 31. 10th play of this drive after the field goal by Detroit. Lytle inside to the 25-yard line, a gain of 6. Charlie Weaver, 59, made the tackle, replaced Wayne Walker at that right side linebacker position after Walker starred here for 15 years. Weaver, as Merlin Olsen told you earlier, last 2 years voted by his teammates the most valuable player.
Smart call on that last play, as we would all have expected to pass, and with a defensive line charging as aggressively as the Lions are, quick popper right up the middle, made a good gain. Going to be 3rd and 4.5.
Luther Blue refueling along the sidelines. Morton, Lytle stumbling forward. I don't think he did not make it. He'll be short by a yard. Weaver and Woodcock teamed up on the tackle.
Let's go down to the pits and watch John Woodcock, number 77, who's been doing a good job on the inside, a defensive tackle. You see him getting some penetration there. That's Paul Howard trying to seal him off to the inside. Woodcock spinning back. He's going to get a piece of the tackle right there on the heels of Rob Lytle. Lytle trying to steal enough for that first down. Looks like they're going to measure it. Now, good call. What do you do now? Red Miller looking probably within the range of Jim Turner. It's going to be about a 40-yard field goal for Turner. No, more than that. Yeah, about a 40-yarder. And that's inside Turner's range. But he hasn't got much to go. Will he go for it?
Yep.
He will.
Bob Moore, 87, will come in as the second tight end to bookend the line. Moses goes out. Big call. Lions bring in Tony Dakin, 58.
The last play, they brought it right, started it outside, and cut it in. Let's see what Morton decides to do with it here.
Down at the 20, and had he not been hit on that last Lion defender, he had a touchdown.
You have to appreciate the talents of number 41, Rob Lytle, as he just attacked in there, went right after the defense, jumped over the top. Inside, we're looking at the charge of number 78, English, linebacker over the top right there, but it's Lytle who makes the big play as he just goes airborne for the first down.
Riley Odoms makes a great block here, too. 88 sealing off.
Oh, yes. Well, that's great. You see the penetration of the defense and excellent plays on the offensive side.
The Silver Rush has their 5th sack. Doug English gets another.
Hard to believe that they can put that much pressure, but down in the pits, the action is getting fierce, and they are after Morton's scalp today. You see number 60, Al Baker, working on Claudie Minor. Claudie's a super tackle. Baker ducking in. He looks like Deacon Jones there. Gets a piece of Morton. And then good reaction on English's part. Slips across from behind and nails Morton for the sack.
2nd down and 13. Broncos. They trail the Lions 10-7. 3:45 left, third quarter. Dave Preston in motion. Morton had to hurry, and Jack Dolben well covered by Luther Bradley. So that rush does 2 things. it gets you, and then when it doesn't, you are inclined to hurry your throw.
Well, anytime you got that kind of pressure coming, it really makes it difficult, not only for a quarterback, but receivers have a tendency at times to shorten up on their patterns, too, knowing a quarterback is under pressure. And if they do that, they destroy a timing pattern very often, making it difficult for the quarterback to connect.
You saw Floyd Peters with Monty Clark. He gave that move with his hand as if to say to maybe put on a stunt, try to go inside with the rush.
Well, he signals the defense is in. He may well have done that.
Flag is down. Haven Moses would have a first down, but let's see what the penalty. It appeared that the Broncos jumped too soon.
Well, we had two people offside. Let's see, like Al Baker stepped offside initially. Haven Moses then stepped offside. Let's see what the officials do on sorting it out. Yep, going to call it on Baker. Said he was across.
In that case, they'll take the play, and Haven Moses has a first and goal for the Broncos.
Let's go back and watch the play. You see Morton going back, and a lot of quarterbacks, knowing a flag is down, may not have completed the play. Morton, a smart veteran, gets it away, and as many times when a flag is down, you don't get good follow-through performance by a defense.
Refuse.
So the M&M connection. Morton to Moses. They've clicked for 100 yards each of the last two games. That's their first completion today.
You wonder why Morton's a little nervous. Look at the kind of pressure he's getting from an all-out rush by that defensive line. That was English just missing another chance, and then he's nailed to the ground. Purifoy, I believe, the final shot there.
First and goal at the 9. Lytle. Oh, was he hit? Lytle gets 4 and pays the price as he took a high shot from Mike Burns, 29.
Dave
and
Washington,
Burns is not getting up.
They were double teaming him on that play. They just leveled him. Watch the shot. You're going to see it from the end zone. You get many like these at home, you're going to be black and blue just like Rob Lytle. Ooh, look at that. That was Washington high and Burns low. That's a high-low tackle, and that'll send you home wondering what happened to you.
And Burns still trying to recover from that contact. Here it is again. And Burns nailing him right up around the shoulder pad and helmet. And Burns slow in recovering.
He's still down.
Monty Clark has to be proud of what he's seen thus far. His Lions lead by 3, but the Broncos are knocking on the door. Number 15, Jim Turner, across the way. Number 4 score in NFL history. Second all-time to George Blanda in total field goals. He's hoping he kicks an extra point here in the third quarter as the Broncos are second and goal at the 5. Dick Enberg with Merlin Olsen. Beautiful Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan. A crowd of around 70,000. 3 minutes, 19 seconds left. Third quarter, and it's been a good, hard-hitting game.
Sure has, and a day for reminiscing, too. Jim Turner, as a sophomore, was my college quarterback at Utah State. So go back with him a long way.
That was right after the War of 1812, wasn't it? Back here?
Yeah, matter of fact, not quite that far away. A lot of pressure down on the field right now. The Broncos, behind by 3 points, need to take advantage of this chance to score. You see Mike Burns obviously popped his neck to the side on that play, but good to see him coming off under his own power.
Reggie Pinckney, 42, has replaced him. Second and goal. Now Otis Armstrong to the 2-yard line. Got an extra yard, keeping those knees pumping. And the man who made the tackle for the Lions is a little slow getting up. Walt Williams, he's okay. I think he's a little disappointed that he gave up that extra yard.
Well, that was just a case of an offensive back who used his leg power, would not give it up. And even though he was almost out of balance, out of control, kept driving right to the end. Put it down on the 2-yard line. Let's see if the Denver Broncos can get it in.
Third and goal. Larry Canada, touchdown. Canada bolts into the end zone. So the Broncos, a long drive, made it on 4th down short twice, and they knock it home on 3rd down from the 2.
Larry Canada, a big, strong back, taking advantage of the fact that they didn't follow up. He got a good hard hit right at the line of scrimmage and then just broke off the tackle, slid to the inside, just barely enough to get across that goal line. Watch it yourself. Cuts across, takes the shot right there, leans in. Look down inside at some of the shots inside. Boy, you don't think it's brutal down there. Had Canada had one more Detroit Lion inside of him, wouldn't have been able to get in there for the touchdown.
Turner's extra point try as he punches it home. 2 minutes and 20 seconds left in the third quarter. And for the first time today, the Broncos are in the lead. Denver 14, the Lions 10.
Hi, I'm Danny Ricardo from the Detroit Lions football team. De mi familia les quiero desearles a todos ustedes un gran día de gracia.
Lonnie Perrin tees it up. He'll kick it off to the Lions. 9-minute drive, 18 plays. You don't see many of those.
And all of Denver's offense for the day tied up in 2 drives. A 74-yarder the first time they got the ball, and a 78-yarder here in the third quarter, both for touchdowns that put them into the lead.
Saw Glenn Hyde come over and say, "We're out of drink here, Coach." So Red Miller gave him his. Lonnie Perrin kicks it off, hits it well to Rick Kane at the goal line. Kane, the touchdown maker of the Lions earlier, tripped up at the 23-yard line. It appeared that Rob Neer in 58 got a piece of him, and he stumbled forward.
46, Preston also getting a chunk of that tackle. That's a little tricky, that turf down there, Dick. A lot of times you end up catching a toe on that. The footing is so good, you'll end up hooking a toe and sometimes losing your own balance.
Tricky, and also sometimes leads to injuries. Look at that, injured reserve. That means you can't come back and play in that season. 15 Detroit Lions players on that list, and 6 were starters. Gradishar right in the line of scrimmage, almost offside. And he drags down Dexter Bussey. No, it was 57, Tom Jackson, who made the play with Gradishar just almost in the backfield of the Lions on that play.
When you said on the line of scrimmage, you bet he was. In fact, it looked like he was over the line a few times in there, able to get back just at the snap and stuff the hole that they wanted. They wanted that hole inside, forced the ball carrier outside. All they could get was a small gain.
6'3" and 233 pounds of inside linebacker Gradishar.
I bet he's on his average for today, averaging just over 18 tackles. I bet he's probably ahead of the average for today.
Second down, 8. Danielson, a reverse to Thompson. No, he keeps it himself. And Danielson's all the way to the 42-yard line. Tom Jackson made the tackle. They fake the reverse, and Danielson picks up a key first down.
Gary Danielson has been the key to Detroit's success over the last 5 weeks. Watch Alzado going inside. Baldwin knocking him in there. They faked the little handoff right there. Froze number 57, Tom Jackson. He's a contained man. He gets there from behind. Made a sweep at the ball. You see him reach for that ball? Wanted to knock it free, but that's a great play. Big play by the young man Danielson.
45 seconds left in the third quarter. Denver leads 14-10. Danielson to throw on first down. Has time. We talked about him earlier. Number 20, Lewis Wright, very nearly picking that one off. He waited off the receiver, hoping it was coming in that direction, and he was right there when the ball was thrown.
Playing his zone defense as he was, Louis Wright had to stay in his zone until that ball was thrown, and then had such great reactions to the ball. He was able to get back and cover Dave Hill, knock that ball away, almost intercepted. Watch it for yourself. Louis Wright making the reaction at the last second, like a center fielder going up against the wall for that catch. He's sorry he dropped it, I'll tell you that.
San Jose State, where he was a 25-foot, 7-inch long jumper. Down the middle, David Hill. First down at the Denver 41. Bernard Jackson made the tackle, and the Lions are on the move.
Bob Snelker designs a lot of the Lion offense here. He loves those crossing patterns across the middle. And of course, you can't throw that kind of pattern unless you have time to throw the football. He gets the time from the offensive line. Little pressure from Chavis on the outside. In fact, he's hit after he throws the ball, but too late to stop the first down.
At the end of the third quarter at the Silver Dome, we go to the final period with a score: Denver 14, the Detroit Lions 10. Gary Danielson saw that completion through a maze of bodies. He seemed to like the results.
Oh, boy. If you don't think that young man's a leader, pump him up. He said, let's go. Let's answer that scoring drive with one of our own.
Fourth quarter begins. 14-10 Denver. Dexter Bussey hits the left side of the 40, a gain of maybe 2. We'll give you that address again for your Olympic contribution, tax deductible, U.S. Olympics, Post Office Box 1980, Cathedral Station, Boston, Mass. 02118. Of course, this is the network of the Olympics. Looking forward to a lot of exciting events that will lead up to the Olympic Games throughout 1979. You'll be seeing here on NBC. Bussey and King behind Danielson, 2nd and 8. Throwing for King, and Joe Rizzo played his football at the Merchant Marine Academy, a free agent pick by the Broncos. Read it perfectly.
Rizzo, like all of these linebackers, has great speed. And you saw him take advantage of also some of the football savvy that he's developed over the years to read the screen and stop it for a loss. Broncos now 112 yards rushing as they've taken the lead substantially in that department. 104 for the Lions, not substantially, 8 yards. I was looking at the 50. You're looking at the passing yardage down there, Dick. What do these tackles know about statistics?
That's
anyway?
right.
Just put them down the piss and let them go.
I won't tell them you were an all-A student at Utah State. They'd never believe me. The Lions early in this fourth quarter. A big play, 3rd and 13. Looking pass, and they won't be disappointed. Down the middle, David Hill. First down at the 19-yard line.
The crowd reacts to number 81, David Hill. That's his second big catch on this drive. As he comes off the line of scrimmage, 51 Swenson trying to stay leg for leg with him, but Hill just makes a good move, cuts around him, and as Rizzo goes to the ground, as Swenson goes to the ground, he makes a couple of other steps on his own. Looked like a halfback there, didn't he? Steve Foley finally coming up to make the stop on him.
Dave Hill's brother Jim played in the National Football League many years, now a sports commentator out in Los Angeles. Dave himself is a cameraman here in Detroit. Lawrence Gaines plows across the 15-yard line for a gain of almost 5. Barney Chavis finally stacked it up. Things getting a little nervous along the Denver sideline.
And you see Red saying, hey, let's suck it up in there. And this Denver defense has traditionally been able to do that. They'll give up a lot of yardage, but when they get down with their backs against that goal line, they get tough. Really impressed with the way Monty Clark has called the plays with the help of Bob Snelker today. Done an excellent job of mixing up the plays, keeping the Denver Broncos off balance, and keeping the Lions well into this ball game offensively.
2nd and 5. Draw to King. He has a first down at the 8-yard line. Now this big crowd, first half of their day, football treat and then home for the big dinner, and thus far the Lions have not disappointed.
See Horace King, 6 rushes, 19 yards on the day, but that doesn't tell the story of how important that play was, putting him inside the 10 with a first down.
Little custodial work as well as he picked up the paper airplane on the way to the sideline. Luther Blue to the right, Leonard Thompson to the left, 1st and goal at the 7. Right into the eyes of Danielson. Bussey all the way to the 1-yard line. What a block by Lawrence Gaines, number 38.
One of the reasons that play was successful, that Bussey was able to get out there, was that they're cutting down the linebackers on the inside. Randy Gradishar plays deeper probably than any other linebacker in football in these short yardage situations. Watch him get hooked right there. Swenson's legs hook Gradishar. He goes to the ground. That's all the opening that Dexter Bussey needs. He takes it all the way to the 1. 2nd and less than a yard. Let's see what they can do with it.
You saw Gaines knock Thompson down to open the hole as well. Touchdown! Horace
Gradishar coming over the top. And two linebackers, actually, that's Kane coming in. Gradishar able to take the block. Gets a little help there from Thompson. Boy, that's great defense, but they just could not stop them as they went into the end zone. And that's Thompson is still down there after that big hit. Another shot of the action. You don't think it's tough down on the line of scrimmage? Look at that, right there. Hit him in midair. One more shot from the backside. You feel the roll of the defensive back and the linebacker. Watch Thompson go up. Ooh, it's no wonder he's still on the ground down there.
So each team has scored on two long touchdown drives. The difference in the game at the moment is the fumble recovery that led to the Lion field goal. While we wait for them to attend to Bill Thompson and the extra point try, a reminder, Sunday, you'll see starting at 12:30 our first game, the Jets at Miami. Miami needs to rebound after dropping out of the first place tie with New England. San Diego still with their hopes alive at Kansas City. The late games, 4 o'clock Eastern time, 3:30 for NFL 78. Cincinnati at Houston. That game's now a sellout, we understand, so you fans down in Houston will see your Oilers here on NBC. Those of you who are not at the Astrodome, and of course Earl Campbell, your sensational NFL leading rusher. The Patriots at Baltimore. Baltimore, tough team to figure. Just about time you figure you might have an easy one. They come up and knock you down. Ted Marchibroda's club will try to upset the Patriots, and Oakland in a revenge game will host Seattle. All on NBC this Sunday. Crowd today, 73,155 for a team that is 4-8. That's a great testimony to the fans here in Michigan.
Well, that sure is. You see Red Miller applauding his defensive captain, Billy Thompson, number 36. He is one tough football player. He'll hit you. He'll give you everything he's got all day long. And that was a classic hit coming up over the goal line. Had there been any more than a half a yard to go, I don't think the back would have gone in.
Thompson appears to be okay, and Benny Ricardo will try the extra point for the Lions out of Danielson's hole. Good. 10:35 left in the game. The Lions have just gone 77 yards to take the lead, 17-14.
After all the years I've been playing, it's still a pleasure playing on Thanksgiving. I'd like to take this opportunity to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you very much.
Well, the Lions have gone 90 yards and 77 yards for their 2 touchdowns, while the Broncos 74 and 78 yards for their scores.
Interesting how they've reacted to one team scoring. There, if you're a receiver at the other end of this kick, you can bring it back yourself all the way from your easy chair.
Rick Upchurch at the goal line. The 10, 15, 20, and down at the 21. Boy, he wants to return it, doesn't he? He had a chance to go down 2 times before he finally went to the carpet. Bill Gay got him.
He is very eager. He's been out of the lineup for a while. He wants desperately to get back in and make a contribution.
Threw a shoe in the process. Oh, we have some games coming up a week from Sunday. Now, that's not this Sunday. We've already told you about those. How about a week from Sunday? Look at this lineup. Miami at Washington. Pittsburgh at Houston.
Whoa.
New England at Dallas.
What a
among
shootout.
the others.
What a shootout.
That's a great classic.
Wow.
Denver trailing. Plenty of time. 10.5 minutes left. Lytle. Outside for 5. Dave Washington, 52, made the tackle. And Lytle again limping off.
Of course, the Broncos know they can't afford to drop another ball game, get behind. They'll lose that edge. They've got at least the tie position. Give Oakland a chance to go one up on them before a crucial rematch of their battle out in Oakland a week from Sunday. So they're concerned right now, starting deep in their own territory. Let's see if they can put together another of those long drives.
Morton has Perrin and Armstrong behind him. Moses in motion. Armstrong, only 2 yards, so it'll be 3rd down and 3. John Woodcock, 77, made the hit. And Denver now a tough 3 yards against that Lion defensive line.
See Woodcock in the middle of that defensive line. Woodcock, English, Baker, all youngsters in there. And of course, Purifoy has been a good addition. They picked him up late off the waiver wire. He's just kind of biding his time. They're lucky to find someone with that kind of talent that they can plug into this lineup.
9 minutes left. Morton. Oh! Almost picked off. Broken up by 29. Mike Burns. And Denver will have to kick.
Pass a little bit slow, getting out to Riley Odoms, who had room to catch it. Morton didn't have quite enough zip on it. Burns able to recover in time to bat it away. Let's see now what Detroit can do with the return. They're probably going to end up with good field position. There you see the replay. Ball a little bit slow in arriving. Riley Odoms unable to get his hands on it before Burns knocked it away.
Dilts hits a beauty towards 89 Luther Blue. He's got it at the 22. 25, 27. Maybe the 28. Dave Preston, one of the men downfield, along with Glenn Hyde to make the tackle. We had a man releasing too soon in the interior line for Denver.
That hurts because that's a great punt, 51 yards and excellent coverage. And they'll take it all the way back and make them re-kick it from 5 yards further back. That hurts. You make a good play, and suddenly you're looking at a sore ankle.
He wasn't who that belongs to. That's Rob Laddle, and he wasn't playing this little piggy goes to market either.
No, he sure wasn't. He's had ankle troubles all year. But you make a big play like that. Dilts gets off 51-yarder.
Offense, number 46, illegally downfield.
Dave Preston, and he was there on the tackle, so
Dave Preston eager to get down. It's hard to fault a player for wanting to get in on the tackle, but a lot of critical mistakes for the Broncos today. In fact, Red Miller and his other coaches have to be concerned about the number of times they have stopped themselves today. Tough enough against an aroused defense like Detroit without stopping yourself.
Not a very good kick this time. Fair catch by Blue at the 46-yard line. So that 5-yard penalty by Preston amounted to about a 20-yard penalty in the exchange of kicks. Timeout, 8:37 left in the game, and the Lions with the ball and the lead. An average day for Craig Morton, and that statistical list there does not reflect the 5 sacks by the Lion defense. Not all Morton's fault. He's had to hurry his throws. 46-yard line, first down, Lions with the lead. Handed off to Horace King, who gets a couple, maybe 3. John Grant, 63, made the tackle. Broncos using that second unit defensive line. Latimer 72, Manor 66, and Grant 63. Now we're going to be working December 24th in the wild card game in the AFC Merlin, and boy, that could feature 2 great teams.
Well, the old concept of a wild card being a throwaway game is certainly gone. Possibility of Denver, Oakland, New England, Miami, Pittsburgh, Houston, even the Jets in San Diego. Who knows? It's a toss-up right now, and it's going to go all the way to the wire. You can go there with us, right along with NBC, down to the playoffs and on to the Super Bowl in Miami.
Number 76 rather. Baldus Weiler, the young left tackle, jumped the count. Bill Thompson, neck injury on that tackle and stiffening on him, so the Broncos feel he may not return to the lineup.
Probably a pinched nerve, easy to get on that kind of an injury.
Almost a 76 ball start.
Almost a whiplash kind of injury when your head is snapped that hard to the side.
Only the 3rd Detroit penalty, and all 5 yards by the offense.
It's Charlie West in there for the injured Billy Thompson. West, of course, as we said earlier, a former Detroit Lion, now playing against his teammates here on this Thanksgiving Day.
Second down and 13. Draw to Gaines. Big guy from Wyoming. Rumbles out to about the 47-yard line where it'll be 3rd and 9. Gaines had a very good rookie year, 659 yards. Then all of last year was out. He had 3 different knee surgeries. Some say it's a miracle he's even playing this year.
He had what they call a Slocum transplant, and all of the athletes who've been under knee surgery know, of course, the seriousness of that. Said it slowed him a couple of tenths, and he's just now getting over the effects of that operation.
3rd down and 8. Danielson trying to sustain the drive, hits Luther Blue, 40, out of bounds at the 35, first down. Danielson had that one right on the money.
The Denver Broncos linebackers, known for their deep drops, and they were way back on that play. Luther Blue cutting across underneath the linebackers. You see Swenson and Rizzo right there. Outruns them to the outside. It's Louis Wright who puts him out of bounds. And Red Miller has put the 3 starting defensive linemen back in the game. Wants some pressure on Danielson and that Lion offense.
You saw Danielson's eyes that time. He looked left and then threw back to the right as he looked off the defenders.
Great job by the quarterback.
King plowing forward for a yard as we pause briefly for station identification. From the Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan, this is the NBC Television Network.
KXAS TV 5, Fort Worth, Dallas.
Happy Thanksgiving from NBC Sports. Dick Enberg and Merlin Olsen at the Silverdome. A crowd of 73,155. And the underdog Detroit Lions leading the Denver Broncos 17-14 with 6:45 remaining in the game. And the Lions driving deep enough for a possible field goal try by Ricardo, but they want more than that.
You saw Bill Thompson there on the sideline, and that was a neck harness that he put on, a roll of foam that goes around his neck to keep his head from popping to one side. We may see him back in the ball game.
Second down, 9. King, nothing inside, tried to roll outside, but Tom Jackson and company there to make the stop. 57, Jackson. Speedy linebacker and a big play man. Lyle Alzado was also there. Don't forget, after our game, Sperry NFL Report. Bryant's in New York. Mike's here with us in Pontiac. Recap the highlights of today's play, and I'm sure they'll offer a little insight as the implications of whatever the final outcome of this game will be.
Of course, it's the pressure squarely on the defense of the Denver Broncos now. They want to get that ball back to their offense, see if they can get some points on the board.
Danielson completed a first down pass, third down long. He's got 3rd and 7 this time. And he has time. Out of bounds at the 38-yard line, Joe Rizzo, who probably has as much speed as Danielson. Got him by the jersey, made sure he didn't throw the ball, and Danielson wisely didn't just throw it up for grabs.
Watch the quarterback dropping back, looking for the receiver. Watch his eyes, looking for a second receiver. Does not have a receiver open. What is he going to do? He's going to do what he has to, run out of there, still looking for a receiver. Unable to find one. Finally, they get him out of bounds. But he probably had gone to 3 receivers by that time. That's just good coverage in the secondary by Denver.
Great camera work there. You hear about the defensive backs reading the quarterback's eyes. You had a chance to do the same. Skladany with Charlie West, the deep man, not Rick Upchurch this time, at the 10-yard line. He'll try to aim it out of bounds. And does. It'll be out somewhere around the 20, make that the 19-yard line. So Denver, 81 yards away. Skladany was not happy with that punt. Some of the fans thought it was a bad spot. They mark it at the 18-yard line. 5 minutes left for the Denver Broncos. Almost must win for them. They trail by 3. You can add to that a couple of victories in the playoffs last year and one loss, of course, in the Super Bowl. Right now, he trails by 3 as Broncos do, and Morton to throw. One of the few times he's had time, and he hits John Keyworth, who struggles out near the 30-yard line. And the hold of Big Dave Washington, one of the biggest linebackers, probably the tallest in the NFL at 6'6".
Tom Vlasic, number 62, came up limping down there. Denver can ill afford to have any more of their offensive linemen banged up. The offensive line, as you said, Dick, giving him time. Hasn't had much of that commodity today because of the great rush that's been put on him by the Detroit defensive line.
4 minutes and 45 seconds left. Morton, here comes Baker. Baker and English, and another sack, number 6.
We saw Tom Vlasic come up limping on the last play. He probably should have taken himself out of the lineup because they went right over the top of him on that last play to sack Morton. deep in his own territory. 62, right in the middle of your picture. Watch it now. 78, English, just dipping by him very quickly. Wide open. Baker on the outside. No place for Morton to step. He'd like to have stepped up to get away from Baker, but English and Baker just take him to the ground roughly. Going to be long yardage. Second and almost 25 yards to go.
Well, that's reminiscent of that 1962 game that we showed you at the start of our show. When Alex Karras and those fellows applied the pressure. Looking for Moses. Incomplete. 46-yard line, and Red Miller's brow has pretty good crevices in it.
Craig Morton running for the sideline, trying to buy a little time, waits until the last possible second, and that's English that knocks him out. Doug English knocks him out of bounds, lays on him. Craig Morton's body going to be a little sore by now. He's taken some real pops today, Dick.
How do you say English in Detroit?
Sack him. He's had a lot of them, too. 11 and a half, 12 and a half on the season.
Ray Danielson hopes he doesn't have to get the ball again if the Lions can pin Denver back in there. 4:09 left. Almost intercepted. Intended for Moses. Walt Williams. The Lions broke it up. Look at this Detroit Lion crowd.
Walt Williams in on that knock away and almost in on the reception. There's the guy that was putting the pressure. John Woodcock, number 77, just popped clean on the inside. Morton has not had time to throw that football, and when you don't have time, it's pretty difficult to get a football on target to a receiver.
Bucky Dilts.
Oh, short kick.
Luther Blue, fair catch, and then lets it bounce. That'll be a break for the Broncos. That's a 15, 18, 19, 20-yard roll. A 20-yard roll for Dilts. And it'll be first down, Lions at their own 30. They'll try to kill the clock. 3:44 left. Detroit lead. The Silver Rush has produced 6 sacks, and that's been a key factor in the game. Don't forget, next Sunday, NFL 78, and they'll feature the fellas in the striped shirts. Who are they? That's the most interesting in-depth report on NFL 78. Lions trying to use the clock with 3:38, 3:37 left. Lawrence Gaines straight ahead, and Denver will spend a timeout. They have 2 remaining. There's the man they call Bubba. You think he isn't tough? Just to get his identity, he took a coat hanger and worked it into the form of a letter B, put it in the fire, and branded his right arm a B on there. He just wanted everyone to know, I'm Bubba Baker. And they're starting to love him plenty here in Michigan.
On the other side of the line of scrimmage, I'm sure Randy Gradishar has gathered his troops, and he said, hey, I'm tired of hearing all that roar from this Detroit crowd for that Detroit defense. Let's show them some defense of our own. Let's get that ball back. Looking at the scoreboard, Dick, that turnover, 3 points, the big difference so far in this ball game, as it's the critical fumble deep in their own territory, cashed in on with a field goal. And other than that, it's been long drives on both sides.
Right after our final gun, our NFL report. Stay with us. An interesting call by the Broncos to take their timeout at the 3:35 mark. Now, many teams will save those 3 timeouts till they get down inside the 2-minute warning or around the 2-minute warning. They figure here that what they like to do, I suppose, maybe stop the Lions on this drive, even if they have to use their timeouts, get the ball, and still have about 2.5 minutes left for Morton or whoever to get the club going.
Well, the most important thing, they want to stop this drive. And with a couple of first downs here, Danielson and the Lion offense can seal this victory for Detroit.
Danielson wide to Bussey, hemmed in by Alzado, and he pins him back at the 28-yard line. And the Broncos, will they use a timeout here?
I don't think so. I think they've got to save a couple, but that's great defense. You saw Lyle Alzado, who's one of the strongest of the players on this Bronco defense, showing you some good speed and pursuit, rolling to the outside. nowhere for the back to go. They had him down for a yard loss.
He's quite a character, and he's from Brooklyn, New York, migrated out to the Dakotas to go to Yankton College.
He's a boxer, was a regional heavyweight champion at heavyweight Golden Glove champion at one time.
3rd down 11. Up the middle goes Horace King, and he's going to be far short of the first down. So the Broncos have stopped Detroit, forcing the punt with 2:44 left. Alzado made another tackle.
You wonder why the fans are booing here. Some of them didn't like the call. They wanted a pass. But Monty Clark is playing the odds for himself. He said, my defense is playing well for me. I'm not going to take a chance on a turnover. Let's kick it away, make them earn a touchdown going over the top of our defense from their own territory.
So the Broncos will get the ball before the 2-minute warning. 2:19 on the game clock. 7:65 on the 30-second clock. With 2:10 left, he hits a beauty. Upchurch all the way to his 14. A flag is down already. And Upchurch is hit at the 16-yard line. Leonard Thompson. And I believe we have a clip as well on the Broncos.
I believe it's going to go against Louis Wright. The official almost dropped it on top of Louis down there. And if that's the case, the ball is going to go back to the 7.5-yard line. And Morton and the offensive team will be looking at a clock with 2 minutes and 1 second and about 92.5 yards to the opposing goal line.
Illegal use of the hands against the Broncos, and that has pretty much typified their problems today. You just can't make penalty mistake after mistake and sustain many drives. A couple they have, but other than that, as you put it so succinctly, their own worst enemy. Well, Morton says, hey, what is the expression that
On the run back
that Red Miller
20,
uses? He says,
illegal use of the hand.
in fact, at the start of the season, he got T-shirts that had DFWD. It basically stood for Don't Fool with Denver, and it came from one of the battleships or aircraft carrier Denver.
Well, I'll tell you this, Morton has got a lot of work cut out for him. He does have the tools to work with. Let's see if he can use them.
Incomplete. Or is it going to be called a fumble? That's a break for no. Now they say incomplete. Took about 5 seconds before one of the officials said that's an incomplete pass. Appeared to be a good call.
Well, the one official on one side of the field felt that the reception had been made, but the official on our side of the field could see a better angle of it, said no, he did not have possession of the ball. And now we're down to that critical 2-minute period. It'll be 2nd 10.
And the Broncos are 93 yards away, trailing by 3.
What do you think of the Midas foreign car muffler guarantee?
It's a great day for my Datsun.
A triumph for my...
1 minute, 55 seconds left. Detroit 17, Denver 14. In Red Miller's mind, of course, he'd love a touchdown, but I would have to think with 2 timeouts left and that deep in your own end, Denver has to be thinking get in field goal range.
Well, and Denver has not been that productive offensively during the season. They've had 2 great games back-to-back, but Morton has his work cut out for him. I'm sure Red Miller would rather have the 3-point lead and put the burden on his offense. That's not the case. The burden is on the on the defense. It's on the Denver offense there.
Might have been offside. Flag is down. Morton. Flag is also thrown in the end zone for holding, I believe. Now, if there's not offside against Detroit, that's a safety. The flag was thrown in the end zone. But if it is offside Detroit, they'll be negating penalties.
Baker was offside for Detroit, so they're going to wash each other out. They'll take it back to the line of scrimmage, and we'll have
We got holding.
2nd and 10.
Holding offense. 60.
He's called so many penalties. Fred Silva's getting hoarse.
There he goes. He's coming
76.
back to the rest of it.
Holding.
Yeah.
60.
Offside.
Offside. Offside.
Well, that's a break for Denver, because if Baker had not been offside, this game would have been all but over.
You again get an idea of Morton's problem out there. Pressure squarely on his shoulders, and yet he cannot buy enough time to throw that football. Has great receivers. Haven Moses, Riley Odom, Jack Dolbin. We haven't seen him today, but he's got good speed. But you've got to have time to throw that football. The Lions refuse to give it to him.
Marty Clark looking for the Lions' 5th win. Both Dolbin and Moses are wide left. 1:49 left in the game. A draw to Lytle. Can't get to the sidelines, but does to the 19-yard line. It'll be a first down. Clock is running. 1:37, as you can see, and now stopped by Denver's second timeout. Well, the Broncos have one timeout left and that much time to get into field goal range for a possible tying field goal try.
Morton goes to the sideline to confer with Red Miller. And certainly the clock here becomes the enemy, just as the Detroit Lion defense becomes the enemy. 1:37, and it'll click off a piece at a time.
We'll be right back at the Silverdome. Stay tuned for the NFL report that will follow. Broncos have a first down. 1:37 left at their own 19-yard line. One timeout remaining. He dumps it off to Odoms, who does not get out of bounds. Odoms did not go to the sidelines, and the clock is running at the 30-yard line. 1:23, 1:22. Broncos will try to get a play off in a hurry. They want to save that one timeout, hopefully at the other end, if they get in field goal range. Odoms did a great job.
Morton got him lined up quick enough. They had to send the play back off the field. It was coming in with the number 32. They're not down. The penalty on Denver.
Haven Moses gets out of bounds at the 39, but it won't count. So in the haste, a little waste by Denver.
Well, it looks like they've got Schindler and Hyde in there as guards. Glassick just exhausted, not able to go the distance. And you've got a couple of guys who haven't had much time in there on the inside. One of them was not set. It's going to cost them 5 yards in a big gain.
One minute and a second left for Denver. And they continue to be in that tough, difficult spot because of the penalties. 9 penalties, 78 yards unofficially.
Offense, 76, illegal motion.
Tom Neville unable to get himself set. Ball at the 25-yard line. One timeout left.
I apologize to both the guards. It looked like one of the guards was late.
I think there were more than one guilty, and they had to pick out one.
Well, it's still a tragic mistake, and they've hurt themselves all day long, as you said, Dick.
Morton over the middle to Dolbin, his first catch of the game. He's down at the 32-yard line. First down, but the clock is running. 52, 51, 50 seconds left.
Detroit will give them those inside patterns, Dick. They'll give them those inside patterns because they know they're burning the clock out with them. Morton's got to go outside or deep.
Down to 40 seconds. Morton needs a big gainer. Sidelines, Moses, pretty throw, and Moses doing that little dance step before going out of bounds at the 43. First down and 34 seconds remain.
That's what he has to do. He's got to save that clock. 34 seconds. He goes to Moses. Moses has the first down. But again, Detroit will give the short pass. They want that clock running out. You see it right there. Moses making it dead on the sideline, pulling it in, stopping the clock with 34 seconds left to go.
Yeah, the out-of-bounds play does two things, stops the clock, and gives Morton time to go into the huddle.
And they've gone to a change in the defensive line, putting the linebacker in there.
Ooh, Baker almost offside. Morton throwing this way to Dolbin. And he was trying to get a penalty called against Luther Bradley, saying that Bradley was crowding, but no flag.
See a little acting on the part of Dolbin down the sideline. Here's a good shot. I mean, you see Bradley get the legal chuck. He's within 5 yards. He stays stride for stride with Dolbin. Looked like Dolbin actually gave him a little shove and hoping to get an official to say, hey, looks like you got an illegal bump there.
But Bradley, the rookie from Notre Dame, was improving with each week. Good coverage. Injured Bronco. This is an official's timeout, not a timeout against the Broncos with 28 seconds left. Well, Merlin, it would appear now that you can reduce the speculative thought for the Broncos. They have a couple of plays at best to get a 20-30 yard gain and then a timeout and try for the field goal.
Well, and the field goal and the extra point have not been great strengths for the Broncos this year. In fact, Red Miller bemoaning the fact that they're 3 kicks away from being 11-1 at this point in the season. They've lost 3 critical games, 1 by an extra point and 2 that could have been won with field goals in the last minutes. Of course, one of those, the game against the New York Jets several weeks ago that we had a chance to see. Of course, Turner, a reliable kicker, apparently was in a slump. They say he seems to be out of that. So right now they have to be looking at getting far enough down. You see Turner warming it up on the sideline.
High tops.
Yeah, he wore some low cuts earlier in the year. Gone back to his trusty high tops, and of course he wants a shot at that field goal. But before they do that, they've got to get down in range, and only 1 more timeout. So that means Morton's going to have to do it, get it out of bounds. A lot of pressure on Morton, a lot of pressure on the offense here.
The injured player is number 54, Bill Bryan, who has been hurt most of this year. I think that's 64, Bryan. And
Bryan's trying to play on a bad ankle, and he just simply has re-injured that leg of his. Probably should not have been in the ball game, but critical time like this, you go with the best you got. And Bryan said, "Hey, coach, I can do it. Put me in there." And unfortunately, that's going to mean a little recovery period on his part.
Lions 17, Denver 14. Denver at its 43-yard line. 2nd and 10, 28 seconds left. Here comes the silver rush. Morton caught by number 84, Vince Kinney, his first catch of the year. And now time called or not? No. Clock running, 14-13. They'll have to hurry. 10, 9, 8, 7. And he stops the clock with 4 seconds left. Interesting that the Broncos didn't take the timeout first, and then they would have had a chance for another pass play.
Haven Moses down on the bottom of the field here was signaling timeout. But apparently, before the game, the officials say who can call timeouts. Apparently, only Morton is allowed to call those timeouts on the field, and Morton did not call a timeout. We're now getting the field goal team onto the field with 4 seconds left to go. That's a powerful kick for Jimmy Turner, although he is kicking off a good service and will not have the wind as a factor.
Longest this year is 44. This year, 9-4-18 to tie the game. A 51-yard attempt by Turner. Norris Weiss to hold. Time called. One of the officials downfield coming into the referee, mentioning something. 55 is Charlie Musser. And of course, for Turner saying, "Hey, I'm just getting myself ready here, and now I'm going to have to think about it a little more."
Not unusual for a defensive team to call timeout and make a kicker sweat a little bit. I'm sure he's sweating enough down there. All the pressure on this kick.
No good. The ball game is over. The Lions, the biggest win for Monty Clark in his first year in Detroit, have beaten the Broncos 17-14.
You see the elation. Monty Clark has worked hard here in Detroit. His players are going to celebrate over this one for a long time. And of course, the great pressure collapsed the Denver Broncos on the other side of the field. You see it there in the frustration of Red Miller.
It's a long walk for Red Miller, because even though he'll have a week and a half to prepare, his next strides will be in the Coliseum in Oakland, California, where he must win to regain a tie for the AFC West. The Lions, in a spoiler role, played a magnificent game. They took it to the Broncos in the first opportunity, driving 90 yards for an opening touchdown. They stopped Denver with good field position in the second period, 7-7 tie, and they came from behind to win it with a touchdown in the fourth quarter.
They showed a lot of maturity today. That's something that has grown and grown in this Monty Clark team. I'm sure he is thrilled as you see him walk off the field. Tremendous pressure on Denver. They were unable to hold up under it today. They go in 1 game behind now for that critical matchup against the Oakland Raiders 10 days from now in the Oakland Coliseum.
And the drama builds in the National Football League as we come down to the final month's play. Well, we've enjoyed it thoroughly. We're pleased that you joined us. And again, our best Thanksgiving Day wishes to you all. Dick Enberg, Merlin Olsen, the final score again, the Lions 17, the Broncos 14.